Hello students, today we are going to start part 3 of this chapter rulers and buildings. In this part we'll study about gardens, tombs and forts. With the help of this topic we'll try to understand the architecture of Mughals and other rulers. During the Mughals, architecture became more complex. Babur, Humayun, Akbar, Jahangir and especially Shah Jahan were personally interested in literature, art and architecture. So during the Mughal period, so many books were written, many books were translated, and many buildings were constructed. You can see, right? In his autobiography, Babur's autobiography, he described his interest in planning and laying out formal gardens, placed within rectangular walled enclosures and divided into four quarters by artificial channels. So in this way you can see in this figure, this is the figure number 10, 1590 painting of Babur supervising workers laying out a Chahar Bagh in Kabul. Chahar Bagh in Kabul, note how intersecting channels on the path create the characteristic Chahar Bagh designs. So this is the design in this way, and these are the walls. In the background you can see clear. So these gardens were called Chahar Bagh. Chahar Bagh, four gardens, because of their symmetrical division into quarters. In this way you can see in this picture. Beginning with Akbar, some of the most beautiful Chahar Baghs were constructed by Jahangir and Shah Jahan in Kashmir and Agra. So you have to remember this fact also, that Jahangir and Shah Jahan constructed some beautiful Chahar Baghs in Kashmir and Agra and Delhi. We'll see in figure number 9 already. In this way Mughal Chahar Baghs, the construction and the draft of Chahar Bagh we discussed in the previous video. Now there were several important architectural innovations during Akbar's reign. For inspiration, Akbar's architects turned to the tombs of his Central Asian ancestor Temur, because as we discussed that Mughal architecture was like Central Asian architecture. The central towering dome and tall gateway, Pistak, called Pistak, became important aspects of Mughal. Figure 11 you can see tomb of Humayun in this way. This was constructed between 1562 and 1571. So can you see the water channels? Here are the water channels, you can see here in this way. Next one, this is the figure 12, the throne balcony in the Diwan-e-Am in Delhi, completed in 1648. After that we were describing about important aspects of Mughal architecture. First visible in Humayun's tomb. The tomb was placed in the center of huge formal Chahar Bagh and built in the tradition known as Eight Paradises. Eight Paradises or Hast Behisht, a central hall surrounded by 8 rooms. Means the central hall was surrounded by, in this way, 8 rooms with red sandstone edged with white marble. It was during Shah Jahan's reign that the different elements of Mughal architecture were fused together in a grand harmonious synthesis. His reign witnessed a huge amount of construction activity, especially in Agra and Delhi. Agra and Delhi, you have to remember, during the reign of Shah Jahan. The ceremonial halls of public and private audience, Diwan-e-Khas was for public and private audience, were carefully planned, placed within a large courtyard. These courts were also described as Chihil Sutun or 40 pillared halls. Shah Jahan's audience halls were specially constructed to resemble a mosque. The pedestal on which his throne was placed was frequently described as Qibla. As we have seen, the direction faced by Muslims at prayer. Since everybody faced that direction, When court was in session, the idea of the king as a representative of God on earth was suggested by these architectural features. So in this way, the architectural features also were concentrated in the king, and according to the wish of the king, the connection between royal justice and imperial court was emphasized by Shah Jahan in his newly constructed court in Red Fort at Delhi. You know that Red Fort is situated at Delhi, constructed by Shah Jahan. Behind the emperor's throne were a series of Petra Dura. Petra Dura, colored hard stones placed in depressions, carved into marble or sandstone, creating beautiful ornate patterns, is called Petra Dura. Inlays that depicted the legendary Greek god Orpheus playing the lute. It was believed that Orpheus' music could calm ferocious beasts until they coexisted together peaceably. The construction of Shah Jahan's audience hall aimed to communicate that the king's justice would treat the high and the low as equals, creating a world where all could live together in harmony. So after that, newly constructed court in the Red Fort, we discussed about Petra Dura, and then about this one. In the early years of his reign, Shah Jahan's capital was at Agra. You have to remember the fact, a city where the nobility had constructed their homes on the banks of the river Yamuna. These were set in midst of formal gardens constructed in the Chahar Bagh format. The Chahar Bagh garden also had a variation that historians describe as riverfront garden. In this, the dwelling was not located in the middle of Chahar Bagh, but at its edge, close to the bank of river. So, dear students, we have discussed till now about some features of Mughal architecture. You can see in this way, Shah Jahan adopted the riverfront garden in the layout of Taj Mahal. You can see in this figure the garden's architectural accomplishment of his reign. Here, the white marble mausoleum was placed on a terrace by the edge of the river, and the garden was to its south. And after that, Shah Jahan developed this architectural form as a means to control the access that nobles had to the river. In the new city of Shah Jahanabad that he constructed in Delhi, the imperial palace commanded the riverfront. Only specially favored nobles, like his eldest son Dara Shikoh, were given access to the river. All others had to construct their homes in the city away from the river Yamuna. So in this figure you can see figure 15, 1850 map of Shah Jahanabad. Where is the emperor's residence? You can identify this one. You can identify on the bank of the river Yamuna. After that, this one, figure 14, reconstruction from a map of the riverfront garden city of Agra. Note how the garden palaces of the nobles are placed on both banks of the Yamuna. The Taj Mahal is on the left. Compare the layout of Agra with Shahjahanabad in Delhi in figure 15. You can compare easily in this way from in both of the side of the Yamuna river. Clear? Here Taj Mahal in this way. This was about Agra, and later about Delhi. This is the Taj Mahal at Agra, completed in 1643. So the rest of the topic of the chapter we'll discuss in the next video. Thank you. Have a nice day.